Book of Sirach. Now will I recall God's works. What I have seen, I will describe. At God's word were his works brought into being. They do his will as he has ordained for them. As the rising sun is clear to all, so the glory of the Lord fills all his works. Yet even God's holy ones must fail in recounting the wonders of the Lord. Though God has given these, his hosts, the strength to stand firm before his glory, he plumbs the depths and penetrates the heart. Their innermost being he understands. The Most High possesses all knowledge and sees from of old the things that are to come. He makes known the past and the future and reveals the deepest secrets. No understanding does he lack. No single thing escapes him. Perennial is his almighty wisdom. He is from all eternity one and the same, with nothing added, nothing taken away. No need of a counselor for him. How beautiful are all of his works, even to the spark and fleeting vision. The universe lives and abides forever to meet each need. Each creature is preserved. All of them differ one from another, yet none of them has he made in vain. For each in turn, as it comes, is good. Can one ever see enough of their splendor? The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made.
By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made.
Give thanks to the Lord on the harp. With the 10-string lyre, chant his praises. Sing to the Lord a new song. Pluck the strings skillfully with shouts of gladness.
By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made.
For upright is the word of the Lord, and all his works are trustworthy. He loves justice and right. Of the kindness of the Lord, the earth is full. By
the word of the Lord, the heavens were made.
By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made. By the breath of his mouth, all their hosts. He gathers the waters of the sea as in a flask. In cellars he confines the deep.
By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made.
Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all who dwell in the world revere him. For he spoke, and it was made. He commanded, and it stood forth.
By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. As Jesus was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a sizable crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind man, the son of Timaeus, sat by the roadside begging. On hearing that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And many rebuked him, telling him to be quiet. But he kept calling out all the more, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take courage, get up. Jesus is calling you." He threw aside his cloak, sprang up, and came to Jesus. Jesus said to him in reply, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man said to him, "Master, I want to see." Jesus told him, "Go your way. Your faith has saved you." Immediately he received his sight and followed him on the way. The Gospel of the Lord. Bartimaeus wanted to be able to see. The book of Sirach tells us what we are able to see if we have the right kind of eyes, to look at the glory of God and the goodness of creation. A beautiful set of descriptions here of all the ways in which God's creation are good ways, and all the things that he makes are good, all the things he understands, even to the spark and the fleeting vision. The universe lives and abides forever. Beautiful, beautiful description of the glory of creation. And the more science probes all the realities of subatomic physics, we see how incredibly complicated and yet miraculous and wonderful all of God's creation is, to the lowest levels to the highest levels. Yet what we have to acknowledge is that there is also in the world a darkness as well as a beautiful light. And that's why we have to remember names like Shahbaz Bhatti and Asia Bibi and Salman Taneer. These are people in Pakistan, and you probably have been following some of this. Salman Taneer was the first government minister in Pakistan, a couple of months ago, assassinated because he spoke out against the blasphemy laws, which were the laws on which neighbors who got into a dispute with Asia Bibi, a Christian, accused her of blasphemy. She was condemned to death. The sentence has been exonerated by, among others, Shahbaz Bhatti, who yesterday was assassinated. This is the dimension of hatred in some people who, in their flyers that were left at the scene of the assassination yesterday, proclaimed, "This is what we'll do to all infidels and all infidel Christians." Scary thing. Bhatti, in fact, was a Catholic. We see this kind of thing terribly going on. Now, the other side of it is the Supreme Court decision, 8-1, to allow that group, I hasten to dignify their organization with the name of church, the permission to protest at funerals of soldiers with all kinds of vulgar kinds of things like death to fags and thank God for 911 and thank God for dead soldiers and all this kind of thing, which is absolutely horrible. But the Supreme Court, 8-1, said it's vulgar and offensive, but the First Amendment protects it. Protects the right of these people to say this. Now, I want you to compare the two kinds of country. In one case, you can say nothing, you can think nothing. And if you even pretend to think something, we will kill you. On the other hand, here, you can be vulgar and disgusting and offensive, and the law will protect you. Two radical different approaches to law. On the other hand, what bothers me more than anything else is the motivation of the murderers in Pakistan on the one hand, and the motivation of these protesters here on the other. They are in both cases, it seems to me, people focused on hate. This is what is so distressing. This kind of hatred, never mind the laws of blasphemy, never mind the freedom of speech of the First Amendment, it's the hatred of these groups that mars the vision that Sirach offers us today. How will we react when we see this kind of thing go on? Will we additionally add hatred to the mix? Will we, in fact, be willing to try to overcome, as St. Paul says in the letter to the Romans, to overcome hatred and evil with good? It is so hard, it seems so futile, but so is hatred. Let us stand and pray.